Good morning, good morning, good morning, folks. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody is ready for a bountiful Thanksgiving holiday. It is Tuesday, November the 25th. This is JT here with another Chart Talk Live brought to you by Xtrades. Hope everybody's doing well. Let me get over to our chat. And let's get the screen sharing happening. There we go. All right, good stuff. Oh, quiet border here this morning. Oh, excuse me. Also, I did not, somehow did not manage to get much sleep last night. So apologies if you hear me struggling with that a little bit. A little coffee always helps. What's up, Essential Times Club? Sounds like a cool group. Hope you're doing well. Let's get this chat open. All right. And I wonder if people think we aren't doing one of these this morning because it's Thanksgiving week. Let me go. Gosh, see, I told you. Did not get much sleep last night. I don't know why. Just kept waking up. One of those nights. Let's go. Copy link. Let me go post this in the main chat. What's up, Henry? What's up, new trader? Good to see y'all here. What's up, Navy Plum? All right. Sorry, I'm trying to get my act in gear this morning, and I'm running on fumes as far as sleep is concerned. I don't know why. I just could not stay asleep last night. One of those restless nights that really kind of suck. All right, let's see. I've got YouTube up and running. I've got my screen being shared everywhere and anywhere. All right, cool. Let's go. Let's dig into it then. So, what are we seeing here on S&P futures? Things have tried to recover some. We've pushed up the last couple of days. We did get a break below that key level there at 65.80.50. So with that break below and with a lot of other things that I've seen, I'm still kind of expecting some more downside in the markets here in the not too distant future. We are coming up on this test of the 333 SMA from below as a resistance test. We do have the 200 SMA that we just rejected recently. There is a downtrend overhead, but the market has made a pretty decent bounce these last couple of sessions. So it will certainly be interesting to see if that continues on. I think this downside idea, which I still believe can play out, I think we're just seeing a little bit of a bounce before the breakdown or a dead cat bounce going here. I think that plan starts to look potentially invalidated if ES can break back above 67.64. So keep an eye on that, but also these would be some great resistance areas up here between 67.64 and on up to 67.95. Give it a small additional amount of room to take some new short entries, assuming that those do hold as resistance and push us back toward the downside, which is again kind of where I'm expecting us to go based on a lot of the higher time frame charts and what I've seen on SPY. So just keep your heads on a swivel. Again, the market is definitely making some unusual moves, especially these past few days, or I should say sessions. So keep all that in mind. Again, I'm still leaning bearish, and I think we are at least short term, right? I'm looking for a bigger correction before we get a bounce and resume ultimately a bull market. But we are getting ready to test some resistances. So these are looking like some areas that might be worth looking to start to open up some new short positions, even if you just keep it to this, like hedge sizing. I certainly think that that would be prudent timing up in this range. So anyway, that's a quick take on the markets. Let's get to some trade plan recaps, and then we'll work on some new trade plans here together this morning. So if you all have any tickers you want me to take a look at, or if you have any questions you want me to try to address while we're working on all this stuff this morning, please feel free to go ahead, start dropping those in the chat. When I say in the chat, I mean the chat for the morning live stream session here. There we go. What's up, Taha? Can I look at Mara? Yeah, we could look at Mara, or really Mara, I guess, right? Yeah, we'll take a look at them. All right, so let's get to these trade plan recaps. What do we have here? We've got Merck that we did last Tuesday. Ultimately went sideways for a few days there, then gave us the breakout to PT1, came back for a back test of that call entry going into the close there Friday, then absolutely ripped to the upside, nailed PT2 there yesterday, really clean rejection, pulled back, caught PT1 as support. This one looks like it's taken the stairs up right now. And a lot of healthcare names have been doing well despite the down market, so no surprise that Merck is also showing some good relative strength there. So keep an eye on this one. As long as it's holding PT1, I expect it to at least go for another test of PT2, if not get a break above that high a day yesterday and go for PT3 to the upside. But so far, this Merck trade plan playing out very nicely. Dell, this one we also did last Tuesday. It did give us a break to the downside, and then just that downward momentum just stalled. Did go for a stop out there back to the upside last Friday, and then ultimately yesterday gave us a breakout back over the call entry, took us to PT1. That's pulled back. We're retesting or back testing that call entry. This could be a really good entry if the market does decide to go bullish on Dell on this back test of the call entry here. Certainly could see it making another run for PT1 or even PT2 before it starts to run into some confluences of resistance up here with the 200 SMA on the hourly chart. So watch for 123.85 to hold going into the open. If it is, I wouldn't rush in right as soon as the market opens, but keep a close eye on it. And if it looks like we're getting some sweeps below 123.85 or some nice reactions to that that are showing buyers stepping in, Dell certainly could be a good one to catch an upside move on if the markets do decide to continue their recovery. CoreWeave, this one's actually from last Thursday, did give us a breakdown to the put entry side, going into the close there Thursday, took us down to PT1, gave us a little bit of a quick move, maybe even a liquidity sweep down below PT1 there on Friday that pulled it back up to the put entry. So, told y'all there was going to be some yawning this morning. My apologies. Let me get some more coffee here. So, breaking back below the put entry here, looking like it might make a push for the downside. So seeing lots of, again, kind of mixed signals here with CoreWeave breaking down significantly and Dell kind of looking a little bit more strong. Both in the tech sector, CoreWeave a little bit more exposed to AI and NVIDIA's price action. And NVIDIA did have that big drawdown after hours yesterday, which I honestly have not taken the time to go look at what caused that or if there was any particular catalyst or maybe it was just a technical sell-off. That remains to be determined. AVGO or Broadcom, this one gave us a break to the downside after doing this plan last Thursday, hit a price target down there at PT1, and then yesterday made a really strong move from down in that area, pushed over the call entry, came for a back test going into the close, and now it's off to PT1 plus and continuing to cruise. Yeah, I was going to see if that was a catalyst or something like that was down here in the news section, but kind of just a general overview of AVGO. So anyway, this one's continuing to push to the upside. Keep a close eye on it as it tries to grind through those upper price targets. And then last but not least, speaking of Target, here we have Target. Again, this one given a kind of a good confirmation. A little bit iffy there, especially with that doji right on the put entry level there. Ultimately, though, did give a good hourly close going into the end of the day there. Nice big bounce there, but ran right into a bunch of resistance and is rejected back down. So I've seen a lot of this kind of volatile whipsaw type stuff. That tends to be also signs of a bearish market taking shape. When you get a lot of volatile whipsaw that ultimately kind of grinds to the downside, those are all pretty good signs of a bearish market beginning to develop. And again, just because we're saying bearish, we're not saying it's the end of the world. The market needs to pull back every once in a while. It was definitely running a bit frothy for a while there. So again, these pullbacks are normal. They're healthy. I'm not saying it's anything to freak out about. Just saying it's, we need to know when to adjust our approach from buying the dips to shorting the rips. And having at least some overall general market directional bias. But again, this market's been even extra volatile. I'm seeing a lot of fake outs. So just be cautious. I'd say play a little bit smaller as we go into the end of the month and the end of the year. So all things to consider. Those are our trade plan recaps. Let's get to work on some new trade plans. We've got Mara down here from Taha. Do we have any other ticker requests or any questions that you guys want me to cover here this morning? Please feel free to go ahead, start dropping those in the chat. If you don't have the morning live stream chat open, it's the little word bubble icon in the top right hand corner of the screen when you're in the morning live stream channel. So pop that open, say what's up. Hope everybody's having a good morning. Let's get to work on this Mara trade plan. All right. Mara's been taking a beating along with crypto, so no surprises there. Don't know what that trend line's from or what we were doing with it back then. Let's see, do I have? Yeah, I thought so. It's like I know I've got some levels on this chart somewhere. They were just hidden. All right, let's take a look here. Give me a little bit more real estate to work with. Kind of interested by this confluence of resistance right in here. That's continued to push us down. What's up, new trader? SOLT? Sure, we can take a look at that. This is an interesting level, at least on the hourly. I don't want to add to the mix here. I'm looking somewhere in this range for potential upside opportunity if we can break above all that. But let's see what that looks like back here. Has gotten some really nice bounces right over this 11-ish level. Let's break it over and back testing that currently. Didn't make a push there. Let's see, 1201, 1163. Small gap to fill to the upside here. All right, I think I'm seeing an idea taking shape here. Could require some patience though, but again, I want to kind of run through this, make sure that I being thorough, especially with kind of the, again, trickier market conditions we're seeing right now. Yeah, could. All right, yep. Make a slight adjustment to what I was looking at for a potential stop loss on this upside plan. We're going to give this some more room to confirm that it's kind of out of the woods to go for these upside targets. Now the question is, where's kind of our ultimate profit taking PT3 target for this trade plan? Little sweep below there. Let's see. Okay. That's more of what I was wanting to see. Yeah, right about here. It's where I'd be looking to ultimately take some profits. Sure, we can try to take a look at Google Neo Trader. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And good morning to everybody who's joined since I dished out the good mornings. All right, I like that upside trade plan. You're looking at a descending channel here for a potential bounce off the bottom of that channel, it sounds like, Taha. At least that's how I'm trying to read that chart. Let me know if I'm wrong. Small adjustment to this level, and I think gives us a good downside entry opportunity. And what time frame is that, Taha? Weekly? Okay, yeah, I could see that. So what I'm looking at, right? We could be playing out your bounce. I think we get better confirmation and better windows of opportunity if we wait for that break over 12. At least at this point, that's what it looks like to me. Oh, that's all good. What's up, Gardle? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, my friend. How far back are we going to need to go to find Mara trading below 969? Here we go. All right. I think that does it. So let's lock this in. Yeah, I tend to agree, Gardle. BTC has been showing, and crypto names in general have been showing, I mean, the market's showing some weakness, but crypto's looking even weaker than the markets right now. So yeah, certainly names to be careful going super long on without a good plan in place for how you're going to handle the trade. So, speaking of, let's get this plan locked in, and then at least we'll have a roadmap for how to try to execute regardless of which direction Mara decides to go. Whoops. What is that? 1017. Not. There we go. And shared stop loss at 1131. Why does that look? Oh, because I picked the wrong level, 1137. Or I typed it in wrong. Probably typed it in wrong. Although, what am I doing? That's the only one I really need to change. Told you I'm a little sleepy this morning. There we go. All right, perfect. Let's get this cleaned up. Now we're cooking. All right. Here comes your Mara live stream plan. No problem at all, Taha. Hopefully this is helpful. Be ready to execute when the time comes. Let's get this over in the Elite chat. And let's grab our message link. Let's get our alerts set. Let's lock this in. Alerts. Yep, that's good. We'll give this till next. What are we doing? There we go. What's it going to be? Actually, it's going to be here, Monday. And last but not least, let's get our template locked in. All right, so let's talk through this one last time, and then we'll get to the next plan. What are we looking for here on Mara? We're looking for a break over 1201. That should open up a window to the upside, taking us up to 1280, and then on for targets at 1327 and 1404. The stop loss average down on that upside trade plan at 1137. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 1089. That should bring downside targets at 1017, 969. Excuse me, and 898 with a shared stop loss average down with that upside trade plan at 1137. Those are your Mara live stream plans. Let's go. Let's get it. Yeah, I like to watch the 5 and the 15. Check both those as my personal recommendation. Sometimes you can see what looks like a confirmed break on the 5, only to look like a big liquidity sweep on the 15. So just try to check both time frames. Generally speaking, I tend to lean toward the 5 to really kind of nail down my confirmation for an entry. So yes, long way of answering your question. All right, what do we have next? SOLT. Is that like one of those Solana tickers? Yeah, Solana ETF. Have not looked at these or charted these very much. In fact, at all, I should say. Not even very much. So, let's begin with just some price action. Oh boy. This is gonna get interesting. All right, let's take a shot at it. Relatively young ticker. Mm. Here's the current all-time low. Yeah, I like this level too. All right. And that's also an interesting level. So let's keep this moving. All right. Yeah, I like that. Hmm. All right. I think that puts us in pretty decent shape overall. But I want to see, because we're going to need some, you all know what I'm getting ready to say, trend-based fib extensions. Try to figure out where exactly this is going to take us. Also, nudge this down some. That was on the weekly chart. There's your low. Well, then it probably also has decent premiums for selling cash secured puts. So could be a good wheel candidate. I don't hate that idea. Monthly still, that's okay. It's not a huge deal. Generally, when I'm selling premiums, I'm putting at least about 30 days on them anyway. So sometimes more. So yeah, monthlies wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. All right, let's figure out where this is going though. That's low. We need a higher low though. Equal lows going down to there. All right, so I would say this really kicks off from about here to here. How about that? Pretty much lines up with our existing support and resistance levels. That's really what I love to see. Move this down just a little bit. Come on, right there. Yeah, I was looking for something in this neck of the woods. Could be either of those two levels, but probably splitting hairs between 824 and 838, right? All right, so that being said, this is going to be a tricky one to plan the downside for. I will say that. 754 at 807, 661's the low. How do I want to approach this? 806. Okay. All right, let's do this. For me to be interested in going short on this, it would have to break down pretty significantly, I might add. But if it does, I do see some windows of opportunity to take us down as low as 279. Looks like maybe a slightly better than one-to-one risk reward setup will check that once we've got the trade plan pilot on the chart. So now the upside is the next question. Where does that start to look good? And I'm definitely looking at something over this bit of resistance to retrace this move right there. Let's see. Yeah, this is very iffy price action back here because it was clearly very low volume. But that pretty much lines up with what I was thinking based on this recent PA. Now the question is this a valid target? Let's see. Yeah, actually. Again, not a lot of price action to work with, but it all kind of stacks up. This was that double bottom potential level. I think it's actually a little bit higher, right about here. Here, right about there, yeah. Which will give us a second price target. And let's see, what did this tap? Is this an existing level? Confirmed or not? I think it's a little bit... I'm thinking right about here. That looks okay through there. Just shy of that. What's the high of that candle? 1347. All right, I'll nudge it down just a little bit to accommodate for that more recent rejection there. Stop loss, I think we can tighten up. Yeah, to here. Right about where we're sitting currently pre-market. All right, cool. Let's lock this in. Break over 905 takes us up to 1049, 1190, 1346. Whoops, 5.61. And let's get this cleaned up here. Hide those suckers. We don't need this either right now. Hide that. There we go. That looks nice and clean. Ready to go. Let's check this hourly for the indicators. Make sure. How about that? Nice confluence there. Breaking over that 905 level if and when it does. All right, cool. Let's lock this in. I keep doing that. December 1st. Oh, wait a second. I almost forgot a step. Here comes your SOLT live stream plan. Actually added it and then could sell. Nice. Or what kind of premium were you getting on that? That's pretty solid. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get this locked in here. Now we can set our alerts. Ah, got to click set. There we go. All right, that all looks good. Good. Cool. Create. All right, so let's run through this one last time. What are we looking for here on SOLT? We're looking for a break over 905 that should bring targets at 1049, 1190, and 1346 with a stop loss average down at 809. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 661 that should bring price targets at 561, 397, and 279 with a stop loss average down at 754. Those are your SOLT live stream plans. All right, let's see. Google. Let's do one more plan. Oh, and before I lose it, there we go. Save. Yes. All right, let's take a quick look at Google. Absolutely running. Oh boy, this is going to be a tough one to figure out. Because it hasn't really had a pullback to confirm this top to do trend-based fib extensions off of. Oh boy. Let's see. Sorry, just had to respond to a text real quick. Time sensitive. Okay. What are we going to do with you, Google? Running very hard. Here's current all-time highs. Got to give big props to Panikin for this one. He's been calling out Google for weeks in some of our top earners chats, all over it. Put out some alerts on it. Absolutely crushing. Glad to have him on the team. Yeah, it's going to be tough with this kind of lift off that it's had. But let's see what we can't figure out. It's an interesting but very quick flip of support to resistance right there. This is going to be, I'm going to call it right now, this is going to be kind of an iffy one on this upside because, again, don't really have a confirmed top yet. Assuming where we found this resistance winds up being leading to some kind of bigger pullback. I don't know. This just looks so off as far as trying to stack those in right there. Because this I would expect to show some kind of support or resistance and just not seeing it. Let's try this. Okay, maybe there is a little something there. We'll see. Very iffy. Calling it now. Iffiest trade plan ever. All right. But this is really the only thing we can do to plan for this upside. And on this one, I'd be pretty aggressive on scaling out at those targets just like that. Downside, let's see. Again, these are going to be pretty tight windows of risk on this. All right. Now, yeah, I would not want to still be short over that. Or, yeah, we're splitting hairs. All right, let's, again, pretty tough to try to nail down this plan. So be cautious with it. It's probably the best advice I can give, but we've got a plan based on some technical analysis here. Again, I don't love putting in those trend-based fib extensions until we've kind of confirmed a pullback and a top and a retest of a trend, but it's okay. We'll try to run with it. Let's see how this plays out, but I would certainly encourage slightly smaller, position sizing on this. Don't need that anymore. Don't need that. Let's get these levels locked in. 333.02, 339.84, 345.37, 351.08, 12, 318.27. Whoops. All right. Here comes your Google live stream plan. And let's get this over in the elite chat. Get our link. Whoops. And let's set our alerts. Cool. Now we want to do this on the hourly. December 1st, 1600, set, create, lock in our template. Whoops, not Thursday, Tuesday. I'm excited for Thanksgiving. I gotta. Tuesday live stream plan. Cool. All right. So let's talk through this Google plan real quick. What are we looking for here on Google? We're looking for a break over 333.02 to bring potential price targets at 339.84, 345.37, and 351.08 with a stop loss average down at 327.12. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 318.27. That should bring targets at 312.20, 305.73, and 299.73 with a stop loss average down at 321.91. All right, that's going to do it for our Chart Talk live sessions for this week. I want to thank everybody who joined me this morning. I want to wish you all again a very safe, happy, and bountiful Thanksgiving holiday. I hope you enjoy it, of course, because it is Thanksgiving. There will be no live stream on this Thursday, but we will be back next Tuesday, right back on track with our regular schedule. So until then, as we always say here on Chart Talk Live, plan your trades, trade your plans, go out there and get some green. Remember, we're looking for profits, not perfection, so keep those wins big, keep those losses small. I will see you all in the chats. Again, have a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for joining. Come back next Tuesday. Until then, JT signing off. Have a great day.